Alex, welcome. How are you today?
Hi Sarah, I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?
I'm good, thanks. Let's get started. Can you tell me a bit about yourself and your background in software engineering?
Sure. I have a degree in computer science from Harvard University and have been working as a software engineer for the past 5 years. I started my career at ABC Corporation, where I worked on back-end systems using Java and Spring Boot. For the last 2 years, I've been with DF Tech, focusing on full-stack development with React and Node.js.
That's great. Could you describe a project you worked on recently that you're particularly proud of?
Certainly. One project that stands out is a real-time chat application I developed at DF Tech. It was designed to handle high volumes of messages with minimal latency. We used WebSockets for real-time communication and integrated various features like message history, user presence indicators, and typing notifications. I was responsible for designing the back-end architecture, implementing the WebSocket server, and ensuring the system could scale efficiently.
Impressive. How did you ensure the system could handle high traffic and remain responsive?
We used a combination of techniques. For instance, we deployed the application using Kubernetes, which allowed us to scale the WebSocket servers horizontally. We also employed load balancing to distribute the traffic evenly across servers. Additionally, we used Redis for managing session data and handling the message queue, which significantly improved performance and scalability.
That sounds well architected. Let's dive into some technical questions. How do you handle version control in your projects?
I primarily use Git for version control. I follow a branching strategy similar to Git flow, which includes feature branches, develop branch, and master branch. For every new feature or bug fix, I create a branch off develop, and once the work is completed and reviewed, it gets merged back into develop. Before a release, we merge develop into master, tag the release, and deploy it. This approach helps keep our codebase organized and facilitates smooth collaboration.
How do you ensure your code is maintainable and readable?
I follow best practices like adhering to a consistent coding style, writing meaningful variable and function names, and keeping functions small and focused. I also make use of code reviews to get feedback from my peers and catch any potential issues early. Additionally, I document the code and write unit tests to ensure that any future changes do not break existing functionality.
Can you give an example of a particularly challenging bug you encountered and how you resolved it?
Sure. In one of my previous projects, we encountered a memory leak in a Java application that caused the server to crash intermittently. Tracking it down was challenging because it didn't happen consistently. I used a profiler to monitor memory usage and identified that we had a collection that wasn't being cleared properly due to lingering references. After fixing the code to ensure the collection was properly cleared, the memory leak was resolved and the application stability improved significantly.
Good job on that. How do you approach performance optimization in your applications?
My approach starts with profiling the application to identify bottlenecks. Tools like JProfiler or New Relic are very helpful for this. Once I identify the slow parts, I look for optimization opportunities, such as improving algorithms, reducing database queries, caching frequently accessed data, and optimizing resource management. I also consider architectural changes if needed, such as implementing asynchronous processing or parallelism.
Speaking of architecture, how would you design a scalable microservices architecture for an e-commerce platform?
For an e-commerce platform, I'd start by identifying the core services, such as user management, product catalog, order processing, payment, and inventory. Each service would be developed as a separate microservice, with its own database to ensure loose coupling and scalability. We'd use an API gateway to handle client requests and route them to the appropriate services. For inter-service communication, we could use REST for synchronous communication and a message broker like RabbitMQ or Kafka for asynchronous communication. To ensure scalability, services would be containerized using Docker and orchestrated using Kubernetes. This setup allows us to scale services independently based on demand. We'd also implement monitoring and logging using tools like Prometheus and ELK Stack to maintain observability and quickly address any issues.
That's a solid approach. How do you ensure security in your applications?
Security is a top priority in any application. I follow best practices such as validating and sanitizing user inputs to prevent SQL injection and cross-site scripting (XSS) attacks. For authentication and authorization, I use industry standards like OAuth 2.0 and JWT tokens. I also ensure data is encrypted both in transit and at rest, using HTTPS for communication and encryption protocols for sensitive data storage. Regular security audits and code reviews are crucial to identify and fix potential vulnerabilities. Additionally, I stay updated with the latest security trends and vulnerabilities to proactively protect the application.
Excellent. Let's talk about team collaboration. How do you handle disagreements in a team setting?
In case of disagreements, I believe in open and respectful communication. I listen to all perspectives and try to understand the reasoning behind each viewpoint. If the disagreement is technical, I suggest we review the data, benchmarks, or conduct a proof of concept to objectively evaluate the options. The goal is to make decisions based on what's best for the project. If needed, I'm also willing to involve a third party, like a team lead or architect, to provide additional insights.
That's a good approach. How do you stay current with new technologies and trends in software development?
I regularly read tech blogs, follow industry leaders on social media, and participate in online communities like Stack Overflow and Reddit. I also attend webinars, conferences, and local meetups when possible. Additionally, I take online courses and work on personal projects to experiment with new technologies and frameworks. Continuous learning is crucial in our field to stay relevant and effective.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up, do you have any questions for me or about the company?
Yes, I'd love to hear more about the team I'd be working with and the technologies you're currently using in your projects.
Our team is a diverse group of engineers with expertise in various areas. We're currently working with a tech stack that includes React and Node.js on the front end, Java and Spring Boot on the back end, and we're hosted on AWS. We emphasize collaboration, code quality, and continuous improvement. We also have regular team building activities and opportunities for professional development.
That sounds fantastic. I'm very excited about the opportunity. Thank you for the detailed insights.
Thank you, Alex. It was great talking to you. We'll be in touch soon with the next steps.
Thank you, Sarah. Have a great day.
You too, Alex. Goodbye.